This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot.
Woo!
And the only movie that can be described as
So much weirder than the last time. What last time?
it's the frequel
You ready?
we've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday in theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
It's Wednesday Addams. I see you're trying to distract yourself from your own banal thoughts. Let me help. Here's a recording thing made of my latest root canal.
Wednesday, Season 2, begins August 6th, only on Netflix.
It's back to school season, and Clorox is donating 2 million disinfecting wipes to classrooms across America. Because back to school means things can get a little bit messy. Just ask kindergarten teacher Miss Gibson.
Give me just one Clorox wipe and I'm ready for glitter glue, exploded lunchbox yogurt, peanut butter handprints, runny noses, picking noses, rubbing noses.
Touching noses.
Thank you, Edward. Ooh, nap mats and lockers and tissue boxes. And
Clorox
scissors.
disinfecting wipes. Teacher's #1 wipe. Clean feels good. Based on unit sales data.
Pie in the Sky Media. This series contains adult language and descriptions of graphic violence throughout. Listener discretion is advised.
3, 2, 1. Hello, Murder Chronicles Nation. We got to get this up on YouTube because this light looks good on me. Welcome back to another bonus episode of the Murder Chronicles. I'm here, as always, lucky enough to be with Carolyn Osorio. Hello, Carolyn.
Hello, Branden. How are you?
I am well, still suffering under the heat dome. How are things up in Seattle?
You know how they are. I told you it was raining, baby, and it's like
what?
It's weird. I know. We just
Rain
did
in Seattle.
I know, but you know what? It's been really hot, so it's like super nice to just have that rain.
Yeah.
I actually jogged in the rain. One of my favorite things is to jog in the rain. I know.
I love hiking in the rain. I love hiking the Hollywood Hills in the rain.
Okay,
it's awesome.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was nice because it was warm enough to wear a t-shirt, but I had that nice, like, misty kind of rain. So yeah, it was all good.
I jog in one of those silver sauna suits, like the rubber boxing like sauna suits. So you just like the sweat comes off you like a fountain. I mean, come on, look at this.
On your right. Great. I hope you give people lots of warning.
It's so hot, like you're just drenched. But I love it. It's great. It's great. Did you see the new medical report that came out? 8 things that you could do starting in your 50s to add 25 years to your life expectancy. Did you see them?
No, I didn't, but I have a feeling you're going to tell me right now.
And
I hope number 1 is the sauna, because I've been trying to get one for years, and I really, if there's anybody listening that wants to like be a commercial on the show, I want one of those. I want a sauna. I
love my sauna. First of all, I was in it today.
Oh my gosh, you like little rat.
I love it.
Is it an infrared one, or is it like
no Swedish all the way?
Oh,
cedar lined, 160 degrees. Boom. I get 20 minutes, 3-4 days a week.
So is it in your house, or is it like a little house?
It's a little house in the backyard. I have a little fenced off area with my gym equipment and an outdoor shower, a sauna, and a cold plunge. So, and it's not like I'm swimming in money. Like, I know how to build shit, so I did it all myself. I built the whole sauna.
Built the sauna yourself?
Built the sauna. I had to buy, the only thing I had to buy was the heating unit, which was actually pretty expensive. It was like $700. But otherwise, I framed it all out. I built the benches. I tiled the floor. I was like, I can swing a hammer. Don't worry about it. And then I put in the plumbing for the shower.
Okay, stop. I thought you don't brag.
I don't. You ask.
You know what? for someone who just said, I want a sauna, I'm like, have my little will work for food sign up.
Yeah, I'll send you pictures of my sauna. It's amazing.
No, please don't. Please don't.
I will. You'll love it. It's great. So these 8 things, no, saunaing was not one of them, but it kind of can fold in to number 1. The number 1 thing was exercise. Exercise to the point where you're out of breath, which is great. Second one is, strangely, it says this, don't be addicted to opioids. All right, because I guess that's an indicator of early death, opioid addiction. I think we're frozen. Hold on.
Oh, well, look.
There you go. We're back. All right, so number one is exercise. Number 2 is don't be addicted to opioids. Number 3 is sleep, getting between 7 and 9 hours of sleep. Number 4 is not smoking.
Check.
5 is not binge drinking.
Check.
And now there's 3 more. 6 is not a full plant-based diet, but a large percentage, like 75% plant-based diet. I know the last one was maintaining healthy personal relationships, which is great. And I'm missing one. And now that has me a little upset, but I'll figure it out in a second. So yeah, it was great.
Not eating a bunch of junk food. That has
no,
to
it didn't mention sugar at all, which was weird.
Really?
Which I tell my wife, like, that's good and terrible, because if it mentioned it, I would cut down on sugar, but it didn't. So I'm like, fuck it. I ate a Twix for lunch.
Oh my God. Why are you even reading this? That just says everything. If you ate a Twix,
it didn't say sugar. I also exercised today.
You're like sitting there, that like you're just like
I exercised
and
I slept like a log last night. I have great relationships. I mean, look at this, right? You and I have a great relationship. All right, here we go. I found it. Exercise, not being addicted to opioids, not using tobacco, managing stress. That was the other. That's the big one. Managing stress, plant-based diet, avoiding.
I have a hard time with that one.
Really? Well, I
mean, that's why I jog all the time, because it helps with my stress for sure.
But relative to what? You know, like, I don't know what terrible stress levels are, and I don't know what manageable stress levels are. All I know are my own stress levels, and I don't know if it's good or bad. So that's what I think that, find
like,
out.
just for me, like, you know, I don't know. I could go into a million different things.
My blood pressure has always been good. Is that an indicator of stress? If you have low blood pressure or high blood pressure, it means you're stressed.
Well, I just think that, like, you know, when you feel like you have so you were just describing a vacation that you went on that sounded like it was beautiful, but it also sounded a little stressful when you were like driving everybody and cooking and doing all this stuff. And it's like, that would be something kind of, I could relate to that, because I'm always kind of the focal point of my family and just stuff like that. And sometimes it gets a little stressful, you know, because you're just kind of stuff like that, you know.
But then do you talk about it? Because that folds in with one of the other ones, having good relationships where you can talk about shit. Because I have people I can talk to about it. And then like,
I think that well, I think that you said when we were talking, you're like, you know, it was fine. You know, nobody knew. I talked to my wife and, you know, blah, blah. Like, I think that when you are the focal point in that situation, you're the one that's always kind of managing and controlling. And so it's hard to basically be like, no,
right.
You know? But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have it in any other way, but I do think that sometimes it can get a little stressful, but
to the point where like you lose sleep over it, where you're tossing that kind of stress. No. Me either.
I mean, it just, no, but just other things like cases, investigations, like stuff like that, where it's like, I can't turn it off. I can't but I think that stress also is what, you know, keeps you going too. Like, you don't want to I wouldn't want to just be like, Zen,
no pressure, right? No,
that would stress me out.
I would just be bored. I'd be like, what am I not doing? How come I'm not doing shit? I need responsibilities, right? I need to.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think that stress is just kind of a natural.
Right. So what's a healthy or unhealthy stress level is what my question would be with regard to this list. Like, how can I check that one off the list and know that I'm managing my stress? Because it's not saying have no stress. It says manage.
I think that you know your body and you know yourself and you know when you're stressed. Like I know that. I know for myself when I start getting really stressed, I can feel it. And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's why I need to go on my jog, or I need to go like, whatever I do to alleviate that,
So that was the only question mark. And I could probably eat more vegetables, but otherwise I'm living for fucking ever.
Knock on, don't jinx your, oh, that's right. You don't believe in jinx.
Oh yeah. Okay. Knock on wood. We'll prevent something from happening to me from Seattle. Please knock on wood, Carolyn.
That's how much I care.
Okay.
Da, 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 da.
All right. So let's talk about this because I'm mad at you.
Oh yeah? Why is that?
Because we don't know who did it. I got a two-parter with no ending. A two-parter.
Hey, buck up, Buttercup. I mean, that's
two-parter with no ending. And there was a lot of hating on police, Toronto police. Woo! There was a lot of it.
Well, I
know. Hey, if it's warranted, great. So here we go. So, Honey and Barry Sherman. Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, I'm a nerd. I have to correct your math. First of all. You said they're in a 12,000.
You mean a nerd?
Yeah.
Don't you mean a know-it-all?
Yeah. You said they're in a 12,000 square foot house with 3,000 feet on the top level, 3,000 in the middle.
Oh my God.
And another 3,000 in the basement.
4,000.
Now listen, I can go to college, but I think that adds up to 9,000.
Hey, you got me. All right. Are you happy with yourself?
So I think I'm using the new math here. Common Core. My kids are bringing home some weird shit. I don't know, but I think that adds up to
you have really proved your point. Okay.
Okay.
All
right. Double check my math, people, and put it in the comments. All right. So,
see this? How many fingers do I have up?
I don't know. I'm not good at math. So then, but then. Something was interesting. There was a really cool phrase that I liked. I don't know why, but I just liked the two words together. Reticent pathologist. That kind of jumped out at me. Mm-hmm. And I have to be honest. I giggled a lot through this with, you're a boot to find out, all these Canadians with their accents. I giggle every time. I think it's funny. But once I got past that, so it kind of seemed like the fix was in almost like from the beginning, with these pathologists, how it reminded me a little bit. I did a podcast called Art Fraud, which you should check out. And one of the main things I learned from that podcast was how difficult it is to get an art expert or a dealer or anyone to actually say that something is fake. They can't because they open themselves up to litigation. And what if they're wrong? Right? Because no one really ever 100% knows, right? They could just say something like, it doesn't seem right, or even that might be going a little bit too far. And so these pathologists that were dealing with this case, they seemed like they didn't want to say that it was a homicide. They leaned way, way, way towards murder-suicide. And
well, they did undetermined, which is like here, when it's undetermined, it's like that's like, it's the no man's land. Like it's really hard to walk that back. And here it's like, it was so clear to the second one because of the, the politics involved. They weren't afraid to say, yeah, this is a double homicide as we can see with the evidence. Like, I think that just shows, because it's like my first thing was like, I couldn't understand in part one, like, why would they not say this was a double homicide? Like, why would they not? To me, it seemed very clear when they have, once we heard the evidence that they had, like, it just seems very clear. And then when you look at their lifestyle and their wealth and all that stuff, or even just not say anything yet, just say this is
still investigating. Yeah.
Right. But it seemed like they wanted to go with that finding.
That's why it seemed like the fix was in, like from the beginning. And the writer guy pointed it out. not the journalist, the Leonardo DiCaprio guy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. Where he said they're asking the wrong question from the beginning. And that's that's a trick that lawyers, that litigators do, and they pose a question that's flawed from the beginning, but they hope that you won't realize it, assuming facts not in evidence, saying like, well, why would he want to murder his wife and then kill himself? Right? Like, that was the original framing of the case from the beginning, from these pathologists. Like, you're asking that's not the right question. You're assuming that that's what happened and trying to answer that riddle, but that's not. No one thinks that, the evidence doesn't point there. Why aren't you asking who would benefit from murdering them? Okay.
Right.
And so I appreciate that kind of investigative eye on this. Like, and my mom's dad, my grandfather, was an MIT professor and a physicist, and he would always admonish us when we were kids, like, don't answer a poorly worded question. You'll always get in trouble. Like, make sure that the question that you're answering is a good question, and that is worded and that is structured properly. Okay. And so I'm always really kind of on the lookout for that, about, like, are we asking the right questions? Is this question structured in a way where you can actually get a good answer that you can rely on? So the questions
in
are
this
very
case,
important.
what would have been the good question? Like, cui bono? Is that what you mean? Like
If you're a murder police, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, that would be the right question.
I just don't. I wonder if it's like they thought it was going to be super expensive, and so it's like we know. I mean, the investigation that they were staring down?
Yeah, sure, but even more so. I mean, it's expensive. What are you talking about? They got a budget. It's Toronto. It's the biggest city with the biggest police force in Canada, right? And you have this guy who's a fucking billionaire, right? Who's diversified in some strange ways business-wise, okay? And is in an industry that engenders a lot of resentment. Okay. And so, of course, I think that would be the main question. The last thing for me would be, is it a murder-suicide?
Hello, Nigel here. As an owl, I love to be awake all night, but allergy sufferers like you probably don't feel the same. So take Xyzal at night to relieve allergies while you sleep. Then wake up fully refreshed for a more productive day. Xyzal works fast and offers 24-hour continuous relief from sneezing, runny nose, itchy watery eyes, and itchy nose and throat, so you can enjoy doing the things you love all day long. Be wise all. Take Xyzal at night. Use as directed. Starts working in 45 minutes.
Subtle results, still you, but with fewer lines. Botox Cosmetic, out of botulinum toxin A, is a prescription medicine used to temporarily make moderate to severe frown lines, crow's feet, and forehead lines look better in adults.
Effects of Botox Cosmetic may spread hours to weeks after injection, causing serious symptoms. Alert your doctor right away as difficulty swallowing, speaking, breathing, eye problems, or muscle weakness may be a sign of a life-threatening condition. Patients with these conditions before injection are at highest risk. Don't receive Botox Cosmetic if you have a skin infection. Side effects may include allergic reactions, injection site pain, headache, eyebrow and eyelid drooping, and eyelid swelling. Allergic reactions can include rash, welts, asthma symptoms, and dizziness. Tell your doctor about medical history, muscle or nerve conditions including ALS or Lou Gehrig's disease, myasthenia gravis, or Lambert-Eaton syndrome, and medications, including botulinum toxins, as these may increase the risk of serious side effects. For full safety information, visit BotoxCosmetic.com or call 877-351-0300.
See for yourself at BotoxCosmetic.com.
I know, like, why? So why would they jump? I mean, I think that in most cases like this, the first thing would be a murder-suicide, but that's why they jump to it, or the double suicide. But clearly from the get-go with the right. ligature marks around their necks and the wrists and there's the paperwork on the floor. I mean, just there's so many things. Like I just, yeah, that's why I spent a lot of time on that, because there's no conspiracy. I believe Kevin in that, he wanted there to be some big reveal. Like he wanted there to be right. some magical reason as to why they did this. And what it really comes down to is it just went off the rails from the beginning. And then, even during their press conference, they didn't want to acknowledge, they wanted to still say, like, after 6 weeks of, due diligence, and we decided, and it was like, no, this happened after this huge headline came out, they were murdered.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like it just, I guess you just can't admit that you're wrong, you know?
Right.
You got it wrong.
And they barely even looked at the possibility that the wife was the target. Right. She was out there doing stuff that could have pissed people off, you know?
Well, and that was what was interesting when they did come out and they said you were both targeted.
Yes.
So it's like, that's really interesting.
100%. And it shows you what money can do. Shows you what money can do, right? Like this family comes out and they go for the fucking jugular, a $10 million reward. $10 million fucking dollars. They set up their own call center that's staffed 12 hours a day, and then we're gonna do it
4 hours a day.
Holy shit, right? That's what fucking money could do. And they still didn't solve it. Even with all of that. But there was such a healthy
and the reward is now 35 million. Recently they upped it to 35 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So zero faith in the police up there. They hired these private investigators to go out there, and they were like, no, it's okay. We'll share shit with you that we think is relevant. Cops, Toronto Police Department. We'll let you know if we're going to share our stuff.
Don't call us. We'll call you. No, I think they, you know, that press conference was interesting because they don't want to get involved. You know, we don't want to mess up the investigation, but you know, you guys kind of suck, you know, so that was really kind of, you know, they're walking that line, and, you know, both investigations haven't proven anything yet.
Right. So did they tore the fucking house down. Like they razed that to the ground.
They did. Yeah.
Wow. That's aggressive. That's also money. That is just money.
Yeah. Well, I mean, nobody would buy it. And they ended up selling it was a double lot. And so, you know, then they were able to sell the double lot.
With just a piece of ground.
Leveled. Yes. Leveled.
Holy shit. Leveled. So, the DiCaprio body double was interesting when he was.
So what is up with you in that? You just
that got anchored in my brain. I don't know. It was a funny joke. It just got anchored in my brain. So he kind of he showed kind of like his underbelly, right? Where he's like target of espionage, right? Was Barry, that, you know, like they were going to come after him with like kiddie porn charges, like just to try to tear him down. Rather than
allegedly through his research, he discovered that. Yeah.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allegedly. That's what he'd come up with. And, you know, and with that kind of money at stake, sure, anything's possible, you know. And I didn't know that you would have to like kind of bid who was going to get to exploit this expiring patent, you know. And so he was making enemies from the original owners of the patent that spent all their blood and treasure to get this drug out there that they had maybe 8 or 9 years to exploit. And then other people in his own business that wanted to get at it also, you know. And so I'm sure he was fighting a battle on many fronts just to run his business. And he was successful at it, but that kind of shit would harden you, you know, and when you know you have enemies like that.
Well, what was interesting in talking with Kevin, I got a little bit, because I couldn't really get a feel for who Barry was, you know, as I was, you know, on one hand, he's super generous, but then on the other hand, he sounds like a shark and a snake, and just, you know, it sounds like he was the type of personality where, winning was the game. Winning was everything. And if you went after him, like he was going to hit you with the hammer legally wise. Like, for example, with his cousins, you know, he had a relationship with them and would give them money and help them with their businesses over the decades. But when they found out that there was some document that was signed where they could have gotten a piece of, or they believe that they should have gotten a piece of the pie with Apotex, you know, Barry talked to him and said, hey, don't try to sue me because I will win and I will crush you, and kind of gave him like the conversation. And the guy was, you know, he took a shot, he took his best shot, and he lost. and it was a lot of money, $300,000 in attorney fees and, blah, blah, blah. So I just feel like he was the type of person where he was going to, if you crossed him, he would just be ruthless.
And so where does that come from? Like, did that happen to him at some point? Did someone like overreact and really like fuck him up early in the business world? I don't know. Did he just work so hard that he'll protect his shit at any cost? I don't know.
Yeah, I think that it became like a drug, an adrenaline, like making all that money, winning, when you win and you win and you win, you got.
Then he had that $580 million judgment against him later on.
Right. And that's when he was calling his son, like, hey, I need you to give me the $50 to $60 million that you owe me, which was pretty interesting,
10% of what he owed. Go to your Bahamian bank account, buddy. You got $2 bills sitting in the islands, right? Come on.
I'm sure he was the type of person who's like, no, I can't touch that.
That's my getaway money.
That's
really? In case you want to buy a sports franchise, you're just going to keep that off to the side.
Yeah, that's my kitty,
Jesus. Wow. How do you feel about maybe the family being involved? That was something that you touched on towards the end of the episode.
I think that, if you think about who benefits, obviously the family benefits.
They got $1 billion each.
I also think that, they were very dysfunctional, but so are a lot of families, and I think that adding money to it only increases, right.
But they were totally, they weren't that far away from getting the $1 billion anyway, right? His parents, they were elderly, weren't they? Their 70s?
Well,
nowadays,
70 and 70, Barry was 75, but I think that maybe with all of their charitable work, like, they could have thought, hey, that's kind of the trend these days for like, if you look at the Bill Gates and Warren Buffett kind of collective of like, hey, we're going to give away all of our wealth. And, I'm not saying that they were considering doing that. It sounds like maybe they were. Who knows? If Honey would have had a will and they believe that maybe she did because she was talking to her attorney or something during that time period, who knows what would have happened.
Was any of it hers? Was any of the money hers, or was it all Barry's?
All the money was going to be left. Barry left all the money to her.
Okay.
And if she would have survived, if he would have been just the one that was killed, then all the money would have transferred to Honey.
And that's when her will would have come into play upon the event.
Well, let's just say that she wasn't killed. Like if he was and he was killed, all the money would have gone to Honey.
Right, exactly. And then if she had a will years later, whenever she passed, that will would she could have left it all to her fucking cat. Like, who knows? Billionaires do weird shit, right?
Right. Yeah. But the point is that it's interesting that she was murdered as well, because, if she would have gotten all the money, who knows? These are questions that we don't know. Like,
I'd leave some money to my cat. My cat's pretty great.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
He's your basic orange tabby, to look at him, but it's what's going on inside, you can see it. You can see it. He's full of love.
Bros?
He's full of love. What's that? Oh, we're bros. Yeah, you kidding me? He's the only one I trust in this house. It's the only one I can completely trust. I know where he is right now. Right now, I know where he is. So,
oh my gosh.
But my favorite part, not my favorite part, but a really, really interesting part of this for me was the suspect, the walking man suspect, how they pour through all of these videos and they're able to account for every single person that they see, not only know who they are, but what they're doing there, except one guy.
Yeah.
One guy. And I was thinking about it because in my office, I look out on my street. Okay. And we've only been here for 2 years in the neighborhood. Okay. And I know everybody walking by, every single person, where they live, what time they're walking by, what they're doing, what their fucking dogs' names are, their kids, like all of that. All right. Especially on Saturday. It's a Jewish neighborhood. So with Shabbat, like everybody's walking. Shabbos, not Shabbat. I'm going to learn Shabbat because, observant Jews don't do anything mechanical or whatever on Saturdays. So everybody's walking. And I know all of those people like, hey, good Shabbos, all that shit. Right. And so I get it. If there were like one person that didn't, I don't want to say didn't
If
belong.
there were a Branden in the neighborhood,
because I'm going to sound like a 50s racist. Someone doesn't belong in this neighborhood. That's not what how I want to say it, but that would stand out. If they weren't like an Amazon or UPS or FedEx person or whatever, like someone walking around, like I get it, and pouring through every house has a ring pointed out, like you'd be able to, through, process of elimination, figure out, all right, this motherfucker doesn't belong here. That's
and it's messed up because you can't really tell what he looks like. He has a very distinctive walk, like he has like a foot drop.
Yeah.
And then the way that he's covered, it's like,
I know who it was.
What?
Kaiser Soze.
Oh yeah.
Right? He knew a camera was on him. He faked the limp, and they were saying shit like this. Like I'm being funny, but also they were saying
because
it could have been a 30-year-old who dressed to look like an older person because they knew cameras would be on them, right? Like all that. So they have no fucking idea who this person was, and probably
and that's what this video looks like. You should watch it.
Really?
Literally, you cannot tell what it could be. Kaiser Soze. I mean, absolutely, it probably is.
I'm telling you, it was Kaiser Soze. So again, I thoroughly enjoyed both episodes, but I'm also mad at you because we don't know who did it. So you get half of a pass, but you're still in a little bit of trouble. So well done.
Thank you.
Done. And so it's up to 35 million. So the family isn't resting. Them and all their billions,
I don't think that I don't think they still have their private investigation team up and running. I do think they upped it to 35 million. So they're committed to,
Excuse me.
What did you think about the family?
I thought that the kid who eulogized his dad was beautiful, and that he's it was an interesting take on my dad is my hero thing. Like that was really nice. I found that to be honest and authentic, but I don't know. $35 million is enough to get somebody to turn on anybody. Okay. It's more than enough to get a hitman to say this was the guy who fucking paid me $500,000 to kill this couple, so
to go to jail for the rest of your life.
I have a really hot take. Here. You ready?
Hit me.
The $35 million reward, I think, and that no one's claimed it and the case hasn't been broken yet, reinforces that it was someone in the family.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a hot take.
I think for me, it's a really hot take because I find it always really kind of hard to believe, this patricide and matricide kind of shit for money. I just, that just seems so out of the realm of possibility for me that it's hard for me to get there emotionally. But, with this, $35 million, one of the kids is part of that fund, right? That's financing that reward, who's probably the one that did it, that's Shakespearean in a sense, but
I mean, if that yeah, I mean, yeah.
And we'll probably never know.
Probably. You don't think they'll ever find it? You don't think they'll ever solve it?
No, I think they would have by now. I'm saying with that much money, that would have shaken something loose. And so I think it's one of those things where it's like, the person who is putting up the money is the person responsible for it, right? It's like the perfect cover. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably wrong, but I hope they find out who did it. I'll tell you that. Okay, so
it could be just somebody that snapped, and it could be somebody that was on the periphery and was jealous, but see, the person had to know their schedules. That's another thing. That's why they think it was somebody close to the family, because usually, like, all their people that would normally talk to them, like on the like every minute of every day, were like out of town.
Yeah.
So it was just the perfect storm that night was the night that
It says echoes of what happened to the Dermans. Remember that episode?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, very similar.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Well, thank you for joining us today, Murder Chronicles Nation. We're going to be dark next week. Maybe I will throw together a greatest hits or something. We'll see. But otherwise, find us again the following week for a new episode of the Murder Chronicles, followed by a bonus episode. Hope you enjoyed it. Please consider supporting the great companies that support our show. Without them, we couldn't do this. Carolyn, anything to add?
Thank you so much for listening. We look forward to checking you out. You should do the Tangled Web bonus episode. Go into our vault, our Murder Chronicle vault.
Okay.
Like the Disney vault,
Yeah, sure. A vault of murder. Yeah, I'll find the Tangled. Yeah, I could rerun that. Great.
Do that. I don't think we've never ran it. That's the thing.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Yeah. I know what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And then hopefully we're going to keep following this Gilgo 4 case as well. Maybe do another drop in for that next week.
Yeah, they're digging up his backyard.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're expanding it nationwide, the search also. I saw. So this guy could have bodies across America.
Oh man.
Maniac, allegedly. So until next time, nation, please stay safe out there, and we will talk to you all soon. Bye.
The Murder Chronicles is a pie-in-the-sky production recorded live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest. We are produced by Brandon Morgan and myself, music by Soundstripe. For Pie in the Sky Media, I'm Carolyn Osorio, your writer and host. Thanks for listening.